Hello and welcome to Masquerade Breach, Season 3, Episode 2. We're going to be dipping into The Lost Boys, but before we do, I'm Blazewing.
I'm Catherine Cosplays, otherwise known as Krisha.
Marley, if it picks up my name this time.
It did.
It, it picked up right at the start of your name. It missed everything else.
Yep.
But it got your name.
We did get your name.
There can be miracles when you believe.
And I'm Oceanus Veritas, also known as Cam.
Guys, we're picking up with The Lost Boys 2, The Tribe today. How are we feeling about this movie?
Froggy.
Froggy. Oh, that is the best word to describe it. Froggy. When did this come out? Like early 2000s?
2010, I'm pretty sure.
This felt like a 2010 direct to DVD film.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about it coming out in theaters.
Yeah, it was straight to video. It didn't even hit the theaters.
Marley?
I feel like one run through was sufficient for my lifetime.
Did you not like it?
It's not something that I would add to my list of movies that make Marley go whee.
That's
I
it.
am
Okay.
offended.
That's it, you're fired.
I am offended.
Okay,
This is
so
cult classic.
So I have been close friends with Blaze for a couple years now. So Blaze, I told I had never seen Lost Boys. And Blaze was like, oh, you've never seen Lost Boys? It's the best vampire movie there ever is! And obviously I'm totally under exaggerating. And so then I was very, very ill with COVID. And I was just laying there and I was like, you know what? I'll buy it off of Amazon Prime and watch it. So I watched it. And then I told Blaze that I watched it. And then Blaze went, have you seen the sequels? And I was like, do I have to? And Blaze was like, oh, you gotta see the sequels. So then, still very ill with COVID, I watched the sequels. And I thought to myself, wow, was it really like not that great of a film because I was sick with COVID? And I always wondered that. And then we watched it and I was like, damn, this is really a straight to DVD 2010 movie. It wasn't just the COVID. It was really well done and it was exactly what it wanted to be. It was like, this is just like, this is a Lost Boys movie, this is of the genre. It was good, like as like a cute vampire film. I'm not saying this is a groundbreaking, this isn't a Lost Boys, this is like definitely a sequel. I loved everything to have to do with the sister. I was fucking obsessed with. Nicole, awesome. Loved Nicole. I loved the head honcho vampire. Can never remember his name. I just love how all these vampires were surfers, but like now they can't be surfers because they're vampires. And I don't understand why you can't just go night surfing.
You don't go surfing at night because if you fall off your board, nobody will find you again.
But you're a vampire, you're superhuman, and they don't have to breathe underwater.
Also,
Why can't
it has to do with the thrill of the competition.
so I'm not like, why, if your whole personality is surfing, why the fuck would you become a vampire?
Have you
You
been?
know what I mean?
I mean, it is California.
Okay, but hear me out. Hear me out. Like, if he was accidentally like tricked into being turned like Nicole, I would be like, you know what? Whatever. Fine. I get it. But if it's like, oh, you can be a vampire, but you can never go out in the sun again, wouldn't you take like a second to be like, you know what? I like sun. I like surfing. I'm gonna say, nah, thanks. Maybe in a couple years. Not now. Like, what?
Well, I think it comes down with a hey, do you want to be young forever? Hey, do you want to be immortal so you don't have to die or
But
be
what's the
unalived?
but what's the point of being immortal if your passion is dead? Then you're just immortal and miserable.
I'd find a new hobby.
Did you miss the part where, like, yeah, she got tricked, but he was like, I need to get my sister out of this thing. And the only way they could do that was to send him in, masquerading as one?
No, I meant the blonde guy. Cause don't
Oh,
you
okay.
guys remember in the beginning, like it was
Oh,
like
Yeah.
you were such like an amazing champion surfer, and then you just disappeared off the map.
oh,
Well, yeah, I did.
because I believe that he had broken his leg or something like that during a competition against the brother, and that's why they had beef because he was going after his because the blonde dude was going after the surf. Oh wait, that might have been the rival.
I would say I think that's the rival because the other two had respect for each other as surfers, but they didn't ever mention beef until the sister started dating dude.
Yeah, and of course, being that he was overprotective, I guess, and punched the dude in the face.
But also, this movie felt like what they did was take every single character from the Lost Boys and redo them. And even down to, yeah, we can't have another Kiefer, but can we get another really hot attitude guy going for the main guy hair with the hair and the stuff and the things? Yeah. And all the way down to instead of grandpa, we have Auntie. And Auntie is a lunatic, but you know she knows what's going on. Like she just can't accept it. And she's blaming it on everything else.
I'm
And
sorry.
it's so
To it.
funny
I'm
because they did though. It was instead of a two brother system, they had the brother sister system. It the whole thing, like the parties and stuff, like it really felt like it was the same movie through another person's eyes.
the aunt was an MLM lady.
Yeah, a what?
Multi-level marketing lady.
Oh, really? Yeah, she was. I swear she was the president of the HOA and my rep.
But
So,
yeah, that's what it felt like. And I think that's why I had a hard time really getting into it because I saw the same story on replay, even down to the motorcycle thing and like the bonfires, stuff like that. Like everything just made sense to me. The only thing was I missed the saxophone man. And it was
Yeah.
disrespectful that we didn't have one. Like, couldn't we have like a slash in there or something? Like, give it if you're gonna be replacing characters,
we
replace sax man with someone cool too.
I mean, to be fair, we had a saxophone man in there. He was standing on a street corner playing the saxophone and like extremely overweight.
Yeah, that
Oh,
doesn't count.
I
But
missed the
yes,
concert.
that's my view of it. Was it was the exact same movie through somebody else's eyes.
Anyone else have anything they want to like dump on this movie with?
Anything having to do with Frog, any part of the fucking film with Frog was hysterical.
It was, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I love how the most violent scene yet of the film, like the start of action, he kicks down the door, and then the most like colonial patriotic music starts playing, and he's like, "I'm Frog! Your sister's a vampire!"
Yeah.
I love Frog, and like the third movie is mainly about Frog and his brother.
Oh,
I love Frog. This man is he is such a character, and as much as I do find him funny, the fact that he is such a strong character is also pretty fucking hilarious. Part-time shaper, full-time vampire slayer.
yep, yep.
It's well, it's frog juice. What? Eggs, garlic, protein powder.
Anyone else?
I like this movie. I don't care. This movie was like right up there with like uh, how they view Hotel Transylvania. Same concept. Same concept. I like The Lost Boys. Hmm.
Oh no, I like this movie. I'm just trying to give it like a critique. I do like it. I think it's adorable. I think that like I love the brother sister relationship. I love that cuz like those two genuinely have like brother sister energy where they're like he's genuinely trying to look out for her even though he has his own issues, and she just wants to be free, and
Mhm.
like the chaos that ensues.
Ocean,
Oh
have
yeah.
you seen this movie before?
Yes.
Okay. So I got a question for you. I'll just kind of sidetracking here for a quick sec. Because I need to know how many of you are aware that the Lost Boys put out comics.
Yes. Yeah.
I've got them all.
No, but it makes sense with how comic centric they are in the movies.
I've got them all.
I liked them.
The sad part is we have very little lore for the actual story. We don't get much information for the universe itself, just basically what's in the comics and what's in the movies. This movie's going to hold a special place in my heart because it is Lost Boys. And I didn't get to experience the Lost Boys when I was like a teen when it would have mattered. But it's still a cult classic. And the sequels, as much as they may have sucked, like as much as they may have had their moments where they just didn't pull through, it's still Lost Boys. The fact that it's Lost Boys will always win out for me.
And I get that. It's like me with Hotel Transylvania. Like, it'll always win. Are they the best? No. But literally, they are so near and dear and special to us. Like, I totally get that.
Okay.
Yeah. And look at me with my terrible, terrible movies. So it's a thing.
Last movie of the season, I'm just saying.
I still need to get a Jesus doll to go with Abraham Lincoln so I can have my face off.
Do it.
I'm
So,
excited to see how this movie this movie definitely had its moments. I will point out that this movie also had it didn't age well. I'll give that much. It didn't age well for many reasons.
go ahead. Give me 1 second.
Mhm.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna point out there is like a similarity between the first movie and the second movie.
Mhm.
It is the one who is actively transforming into a vampire, being like, what is wrong with me? And then goes to the hideout and fucks to cry little sister.
Yep. That was an homage, absolutely.
Also, like, I really hope there was a moment where they actually had the talk of like, you're becoming a vampire, instead of her being like, nah, this is fine.
Well,
See,
the
straight up, if it was me, fuck off and mind your own business.
I feel like there were a lot of mirroring moments between the first one and this one. And I will say though, I do absolutely love a good frog brother. I'm hoping that the next one is going to get me in a better space. I just really felt like this one there wasn't a whole lot of story because it was a repeat of the first is what it felt like to me. Like I
Have
said, I felt like it was so similar with different people.
have you
And
seen?
that was the only thing, but I love the Frog Brothers. So those moments with Edgar, I loved because I'm hoping that I will love Alan again in the next one.
Have you seen the third movie?
No, I hadn't even seen the second one until now.
Okay.
But the Frog Brothers from the first were my favorites, so seeing Edgar at least made me happy. And he really was super hilarious. Like all of his scenes were exactly what I had hoped for.
Um, I have another question for you guys before we get into the actual like, I guess, dissection of scenes here. What did you guys think of that little clip at the end?
Oh, you mean the part with
The one with Edgar and Sam.
mhm, and Sam, yeah.
That was great. I love that because Sam was so fun in the first one, It was fun.
Yeah, and then he went
Fun.
and got turned. And
Yep.
they Edgar and Sam ended up duking it out. Um we come to find out the how that battle ended in movie 3.
Mhm.
We find out the conclusion of that battle.
It's always the youngest sibling. It always is. We just have it in us. We are adventurous. We see the problem our older sibling went through, and then we just decide, you know what, I need to try it myself. And
Absolutely.
usually, I just want to point out, we do it better.
That's up for debate.
We
I'm
do
the
it
youngest,
better, or we do it a hell of a lot worse.
or we find friends that give us the best advice on how to make it better once we mess it up.
So, let's get into scenes one at a time. Oh, look. Apparently, over on TikTok, we have an election warning. I don't
Oh
understand
man,
why we have that tag.
I don't either.
Anyways, let's get into the dissection of scenes one at a time. What was your worst scene for this movie? We'll start with Marley.
Yeah, we would start with Marley. Okay.
I'm sorry. You seem like you have a lot to say. So
It wasn't the just a one scene thing. It was all of the similarities that I wanted it to have its own story, and that clip at the end was a really good own story, but there were so many pieces of the movie that were mirroring the first one. And I felt like everything was very predictable. And I I couldn't get into it because of that. Like I love certain scenes. I was laughing my butt off at some. I love Edgar. We all love a good frog brother. But I just couldn't. I couldn't accept it as a movie when I just kept seeing the mirrors of the first one.
yeah. Krisha.
I am confused as to what the first scene meant. They were on the beach with their four-wheelers, like messing around. And then the guy in the mansion comes out and is like, "Get off my property." And they're like, "Nah, we're not getting off your property." And then he's like, "I have fangs. Get off my property." And they were like, "Ha, we also have fangs. Ha." And then kill him. And then we move on to the siblings? Like, is that just to show like they were powerful,
So-
or just to establish that they were vampires ahead of time?
Yes, in part. However, the guy that they killed, what house was he in? Did you not recognize that house from the party?
Oh,
They took his house.
I love that. Okay.
Ocean.
Also,
Sorry.
just that is the only thing that confused me. And then now that okay, it's making sense now.
Ocean.
So this is worst scene thing
Worst
that we're doing
scene,
the
yeah.
breakdown? Okay. Worst scene. The sex scene. And the whole aspect that it felt forced as hell. The idea of like, oh, I want you to stay away, sis. I want you to stay away. Well, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go over there and do it anyways. And then, of course, like, you're turning into a vampire. What? Oh, no, I better go see the guy that I like that tricked me into drinking blood. Woo. And then it's like, oh, what is happening to me? It doesn't matter what's happening to you. Here, we're going to go to Bone Town. and then she's all on board with it. Like, what? It was kind of weird. Didn't fit. That was one of, and I think the other one was like they could, well, a bit of it felt like it was just a banjo away from the brother liking the sister too much. I think that was like the connection to the dynamic seemed a little unhealthy. So that was my thoughts.
Yeah, I didn't know they were brother and sister in that first scene where they were arriving. I actually thought they were a couple until it was explained.
Yeah. It took a moment for me to go, oh, they're not dating, they're brother and sister. Oh, this is their aunt. Oh, okay. But it took a moment.
I think for me, and I've had to think about this one, like really, really think about it.
Mhm.
It was the fact that the scene with the shower, that was split and then picks up like 20 fucking minutes later. Right now,
Yeah.
she just fucking shows up at the door. Let's finish what we started. Walks in,
Did you hear?
like literally just drops what she's got on, walks in, starts like going to town on him. After which he stands up, no, shoves her back against the antlers, and then we just see her like petrify and fucking explode. Then he goes to Edgar Frog, and he's like, it was really weird. She came in, she was all hot and bothered, and then she just she turned to stone and exploded. And Edgar's like, that's ridiculous. Vampires don't just turn to stone and explode. They have to be poked by something sharp. Like that whole fucking explanation. But it's the fact that like that shower scene had like a 20-minute gap between it and the conclusion of it. And there was an entire fucking scene change.
Yeah.
What about most loved scene for this movie? Marley?
The motorcycle scene, I feel like, even though I still feel like it was a redo, I feel like they put a bit more into it. They made it more dramatic. Like, I was actually into it. That and the final death scene had me cracking up. Like, somehow, I don't know what I was expecting out of a final boss battle, but that was not what I expected. I was like, "Oh, it's over now. Okay." It made me laugh because of how they handled it. Like, I get it, but also I see where they were going, and I know they're trying to bring a sense of closure, but also a in your face. Like, that's how it felt to me, and it was so fun. Like, I was giddy for those two scenes.
Krisha?
Oh, where to begin? Anything with Frog. I'm a huge fan of that man. Anything. Anything with Frog. And literally he had the most I'm sorry to say neurodivergent answer where it was like turned into stone and exploded. That's ridiculous. Vampires don't just turn into stone. They get stabbed, then turn to stone, then explode. Like, ugh, idiot. And then I literally just had it, and it is the very, very ending. They are tattered, covered in blood, covered in ash. They are all beat up. The aunt comes in and goes, "If you two are smoking grass," and they're just sitting there like, and then she leaves. Like, literally, they're still just as poor, just as destitute. He still doesn't have a job, neither does she. And they just got beat, like, the shit beat out of them. And now they're just like, okay, so what now?
Ocean?
So there was a couple of scenes that really got me in this. Anything again, yeah. The first time that we see, Frog break down a door and say, your sister's a blood sucking vampire," was a good scene. And he's like, "You got to do something about this. We got to kill her," that kind of thing. And then, of course, then afterwards, I think a couple of my there was a couple of scenes that made me go, "Okay, this is funny." Um, the There was a part of which, again, the aunt comes down and basically says, "If you guys are smoking grass," and it's clear that there was some serious drinking going on, and there was blood, and she could see it. It was clear as day, and apparently that was drugs. And then, of course, the other scene that I liked was obviously the ending where Sam comes back and they talk a bit. There's a bit of a dialogue there, so I liked it. Those were a few of my favorite scenes.
For me, it was the one thing I think that they got right with this movie was the theme of family. You stick to your own, you protect your own, you look after your own. And then they drove that point home literally at the end of the final fight. Like, the brother and the fucking antagonist, the brother and like the head vampire are fighting. The brother's on his last fucking legs, and then you just see this stake shoved through the head vampire, through the head vampire's heart, effectively. He turns around, but why? He's family, you asshole.
Yeah.
Again, I think for me, it's more along the lines of it's a Lost Boys movie. It will always have that very special place in my heart because it has the title Lost Boys. Whether or not you think it's Lost Boys, whether or not you liked it, doesn't fucking matter. The fact that it is an official Lost Boys movie means it will always have that place in my heart. Also, I'm just really here for the Lost Boys vampire style. There's just something about it. It's visceral. It's in your face almost. They're not afraid of like the blood and the gore and all of that shit. So, I think.
There is one.
Go ahead.
I said there is one other thing about that I would absolutely tack on to the addendum. They're not afraid of the camp either.
No, they're not. They embrace it fully. They know exactly what they
Great.
are.
Yep, they understand that this is a movie that is not to be taken seriously, but at the same time has some serious points to it. So this movie was one of those types that it's entertaining and it's wonderful and it is absolutely a cult classic.
Can we talk for a moment about the fact that we see at the party one of the guys walk up to another guy with a knife and like literally just slices him across the stomach and completely disembowels him, and then later on in the movie they're playing video games and he gets like a fucking spear or some shit shoved through him while they're playing video games. Like, talk about childish fucking behavior. Talk about like the most immature shit ever. And then he pulls out the video camera, the video camera is like the ones they used to have, and they start fucking recording it, like all of it.
Like Masquerade preaching all the way through.
Wow, I guess that brings us to rating.
Can I say one more thing real quick?
Yeah,
I feel like though that's the point of Lost Boys though, is the impulsiveness, the wild. They literally wake up each evening and the only thing they know they need to do is eat. That's it. They are free to do and take and whatever they want. Life is limitless. I feel like that's the point of the Lost Boys.
that's
And like, yeah.
that's actually an interesting point and something I hadn't considered, because you are absolutely right. It very much does tap into the wild, the free soul, the wild spirit, the untamable. It taps into you're gonna do what you want to do and nobody can tell you any different. That sense of rebellion, and it still carries through it even through like the 2010s movie, The Tribe, which is the movie we watched. It carries very much that 80s rebellion style to it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, stick it to the man. You're not going to tell me what to do. And everything that comes along with that.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything to add? Jeez.
It does put into perspective of the impulsivity of living in the moment and what you can miss if you don't plan ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives kind of, because as we all understand the ending of this movie, being a vampire sucks.
In some
if you
cases,
don't plan
literally.
it. Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
there's a vampire movie I want to show you guys. It's called Vampires Suck. I can't wait to show you guys that movie.
Season 4, baby!
We haven't even started planning for season 4 yet. We're not even halfway done through season 3 yet. Alright, so, rating. Scale of 1 to 5. Would you recommend it? Was it good? Did you enjoy it? Fucking, let's have it. This is your chance to, like, hash out. We'll start with Marley.
Okay. I'm giving it a 3 because yes, it did make me laugh. I do see that it was still a good movie. I see why people like it. But on top of my other situation with it, the girl was a minor, and that didn't sit right with me for all the things that she did and went through and were allowed to happen. That just I was not happy about that.
Valid.
So, so because of that, yeah, I had to drop it. I if I knew people that, love Lost Boys, then yeah, I would say totally watch it. At least give everything a watch, You need to make up your own mind. I may not be the person to pop the popcorn and watch it with them, but it doesn't mean I'm going to tell people it was a bad movie. I just have my own personal reasons not to like it or to not feel like I need to watch it again.
Absolutely valid, and I'm glad you brought up that point because yeah, you're right. She was underage, and that's a whole fucking issue. Like a whole fucking issue. Krisha?
I'm giving it a 2. I I don't recommend it unless you really loved Lost Boys. But yeah, I just can't condone it. Nope.
That it?
Yep.
I'm giving it a 2. Move on. Ocean!
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. And the reason why is because it was a Walmart rendition of the first, to be dead honest. And I'll explain why. You can't beat Kiefer Sutherland, period. End of story. You can't beat the Saxophone Man, end of story. It was exactly as a sequel is. Not any better and far worse than the first. But for nostalgic purposes, I love this movie. On the other hand, it has some very contentious points to it, as we iterated earlier with, you know, the main female protagonist being underage. Albeit the story itself and the narrative is amazing. I think that it could have been, had it had the time and the budget for it, would have been a ton better. Had they actually hashed out and worked out an actual plan beyond the hey, we're here for the Frog Boys or the Frog Brothers, I think it would have been a better movie. The other thing some of the good things about it is that it does have the Frog Brother in there. It has, you know, a clear cut vampire hunter hunting vampires and someone else being recruited into such things. It is a vampire movie, which is what we're here for. We're here for the vampire movies. But yeah, it does have its pros and cons.
There are a lot of places where this movie did fall flat. Like absolutely, it's about 90% of the movie when you take everything into account. It has a few good scenes. The underlying message is at best. The graphics aren't all that great. I'm giving this a 3.5 because of the camp, because it's Lost Boys, and because there's something I don't think you guys have considered. And I'd like to get Marley's thoughts on this once we watch the third one to see if your thoughts line up with mine. The first Lost Boys movie was great. Cult classic, cult following done really well, was ahead of its time. We've been there. When you tack on this movie, the focus of the story they're telling changes. In the first movie, your protagonists were Sam and his brother, and the Frog Brothers. And of course, David and his crew were the antagonists, right?
Yeah. And don't forget Michael in there.
Sam and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
When you tack this movie onto it, that focus shifts. We're now watching a story about the evolution of the Frog Brothers themselves. Everybody else is just a supporting character. And I would like to see if Marley agrees with me after the third movie. I'd like to see if you all agree with me after the third movie.
I'm definitely interested because I can see that, but I without seeing all of them, I don't know which direction it actually goes.
So I'm giving this a 3.5 because the story as we know it has evolved. And as you guys know, like, I'm in my storyteller era. I'm here for the fucking story. Watching the evolution of this, for me, is quite intriguing because it's not where the original... It's not the original intended direction of the story itself. They've effectively rewritten it mid-story. So...
Yeah.
Hello, Dylan. Masquerade Breach, didn't see it happen. Obfuscate, yes, welcome to Masquerade Breach, where we talk about anything and everything vampire-related in media. Right now we are doing movies and TV shows. I'd like to work games and books into it. We just don't know how to do it. We're talking about Lost Boys 2, The Tribe today.
Yep.
I'm always here for the blood and gore, you guys know that. Like, always there for a good set of fangs. And again, the visceralness of just that. Like, if there's one thing Lost Boys does right, it's those really visceral scenes. They nail that, at least for these two movies. They've nailed it every time they've done it. Those very monstrous scenes. Your monsters are your monsters, and you know who your monsters are.
Yeah.
But yeah. I guess...
There is another word I would use, too.
Hmm?
It's the vibe.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. They have the movie series does have its own energy, I think, and that keeps pulling me back in. And for me, the Lost Boys series will be a comfort series. Anyone else have anything to add? No? Well, then, I guess, thank you for joining us for this episode. We hope to see you again. Season 3, Episode 3, we are going to be doing the German film, We Are the Night.
Yeah.
If you're watching it, watch it subtitled. If you'd like to join us for our watch parties on Wednesday nights, hit up one of the hosts and ask. We start around 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We are more than happy to have people in. We do basically by invite only, so you have to approach us and ask for it. But we're more than happy to have you in. And come watch vampire movies with us, once every week or every 2 weeks, depending on schedules and whatnot and life stuff. I'm interested to see what you guys think about our upcoming movie as well. For this episode of Masquerade Breach, I'm Blazewing.
I am Catherine Cosplays, otherwise known as Krisha.
And Marley.
Yay! And I am Oceanus Veritas, also known as Cam.
And remember, don't tell the Camarilla. We don't know who brought the map this time around.
Dang it. I think we lost